The highly anticipated prequel to Yellowstone has finally arrived, and audiences got a glimpse of the fate of the Duttons. Ford and Mirren are the stars of 1923, and we've waited long enough for its release. In this video, we'll be talking about how the Sheridan-verse has unfolded the story of the Duttons with the release of 1923, and more on what the creator has said about setting history straight with the series. Let's get right in. First up, 1923 has revealed the fate of the Dutton family from 1883. The explosive opening of Taylor Sheridan's latest Yellowstone spin-off has revealed the long-awaited answers for the Dutton family. Audiences were wondering what would happen after 1883, and finally we got to see some glimpses. Drought, locusts, and wildfire had threatened the Dutton clan, as was revealed through a familiar voice. The familiar voice was of the doomed daughter of 1883, Elsa, who narrated the family's tragedies and the tendency of her family to be cursed by never-ending violence. The first few minutes are followed by close-ups of Jacob, who's the brother of 1883's James Dutton, and Ford's weathered character surveying land that's been plagued. He and the other men on horseback have discovered that much of the Dutton family has been affected by hard times, and the people of the area aren't welcoming either. The streets are filled with angry Prohibition supporters and even angrier cattle ranchers. Hard times suggest that the Dutton family is in for a lot of animosity between them and the people around them. Risky ranch wars are followed by quarrels between ranchers and the local people, and tensions are brewing in the land. The Duttons are under obvious threat, and they're in for another era of violence and struggle. It'll be interesting to see what else unfolds for the Dutton family as we see more episodes of 1923. Till then, the opening has looked promising enough. Not to mention, what happened to James and Margaret Dutton was a major cliffhanger. 1883 had ended with the heartbreaking death of Elsa Dutton, played by Isabel May, who was the protagonist of the series. After that, James and Margaret Dutton were left with their son John, and audiences were wondering what lay ahead for the family. During Yellowstone Season 4, we saw glimpses that the couple had another son, Spencer, but as it turned out, the Yellowstone Season 4 flashback where James was badly wounded and ended with Margaret screaming was actually his death scene. So now audiences have been wondering what's ahead for the Duttons in 1923. Following up, 1923 sees an entirely new era and struggles for the Duttons. We found out through the narration of Elsa that Margaret had sent for James's brother Jacob, who the legendary Harrison Ford plays. When he arrived at the Yellowstone ranch, he found her frozen to death and her sons starving. Jacob and his wife Kara, played by Helen Mirren, practically raised the boys as their own after the tragic death. As 1923 opened, Jacob built Yellowstone Ranch into his empire, but that empire is in decline because of the ensuing drought, plague, and the Great Depression. As the episode progresses, we see new characters too. The premiere showed us that Spencer Dutton, played by Brandon Sklenar, has survived World War I and was badly affected by the horrors he saw. Instead of returning home, he made his way to Africa and took up hunting. John Dutton Sr., played by James Badge Dale, is his Uncle Jacob's right-hand man on Yellowstone Ranch. James Dutton, played by Darren Mann, is shown as a young and headstrong man who's fiercely dedicated to his family. Jack's set to marry Elizabeth Strafford, played by Michelle Randolph, who's a feisty woman. She's marrying into a difficult situation though. The Yellowstone Ranch is experiencing a lot of issues, and they're not getting any better. Overall, as the opening episode suggests, the entire Dutton family is in for a lot of hardships, and it'll only get worse. It poses a challenge for the family's survival, and we're anticipating to see how the drama unfolds in later episodes. Now for our expectations from 1923. The trailer for 1923 had violence, romance, and suspense, the same traits that defined 1883 too. When Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren hinted at 1923's juicy storyline, audiences were already excited to see how the story of 1883 will continue in 1923 and how the fate of the Duttons will unfold. 1923 is set in the time frame of drought, westward expansion, prohibition, and the Great Depression. Already this timeline reflects how difficult it'll be for the Duttons to survive. Kara Dutton is an incredibly strong woman and the matriarchal figure of Yellowstone Ranch, and she kills one of the family's enemies in the first episode of 1923. We can expect that the story of 1923 is going to trace back to that moment as the season progresses, among many other twists and turmoils that viewers are already anticipating. So far, 1923 seems like it's shaping up to be a great drama. The same overarching themes that were evident in Yellowstone in 1883 are set against the classic backdrop of Taylor Sheridan's epic visuals and stunning music score. The scenery, landscapes, costumes, all of it seems like 1923 is on an exceptionally grand level, and audiences won't be let down. The series airs every Sunday on Paramount+. Next up, Taylor Sheridan hopes Yellowstone in 1883 set accurate historical records. Taylor Sheridan's epic western drama Yellowstone is going quite strong. Its prequel 1883 premiered in 2021, and now another prequel prequel 1923 has been released. The Sheridan verse has been expanding and we're in for it all. And now the creator is setting the historical record straight for all of his series. American history is vast and full of a lot of drama and expansion. Lucky for those of us who don't enjoy history lessons, Sheridan's universe is going to help us understand. The creator expressed that he wanted the viewers to understand the historical importance of the settlers and the times they were living in. 1883 and 1923 are set in times when American industries were rapidly expanding and there were loads of disputes over land. It was a rough journey that no one was ever prepared for, and the series has hinted at the troubles that so many people had to go through in order to settle in America. Let's learn more about the portrayal of the pioneers in the prequel series. Taylor Sheridan was asked about why he had set his series so far in the past. His answer? He wanted to accurately portray the pioneers who traveled all the way from Central Europe and settled in America. He also expressed that the pioneers have never been accurately portrayed in other Western films, so he wanted to take the matter into his own hands. He says, the pioneers have never been portrayed accurately. Many of the pioneers come from Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Asia, and they hired guides to take them west. They didn't speak the language, they'd never seen a horse, they'd never held a gun, and they had no idea that this land actually belonged to another group of people. Through Sheridan's filmography, we get to understand what life was like for these immigrants. They had to settle in an unknown land and live among unknown people. Like he said, they didn't even speak the language. Hardships followed for the immigrants, and the point behind 1883 and 1923 is also that we see their difficulties through the characters in the series. The people who traveled all the way from Europe had managed to overcome the challenges and made a living for themselves and their families, and that's pretty much central to the whole idea of 1883 and 1923. Through series like these, we as viewers get a glimpse into history. It's always fun when history lessons are followed by action, and we're already hooked on 1923. What's more, there were some cultural clashes too. In 1883, viewers saw some cultural clashing between different groups of people. Sheridan wants us to understand that many people who left their homes and possessions in Europe had traveled all the way to America to make life better for themselves, and of course, they were subjected to racism and violence. As Sheridan has pointed out through his shows, America was a place where people could reinvent themselves, and that's pretty much evident in the Dutton story. The Duttons also had managed to make a living and a name for themselves, even though they weren't immigrants. Sheridan's series are pretty much historically accurate, and that's what has intrigued audiences. It was essential for the creator to portray the times accurately because he's also fascinated by the struggling history of the people living in 19th century America. The Dutton family's struggle reflects the struggle of many other families who endured countless hardships in an era marked by expansion and violence. Sheridan also expresses that history is bound to repeat itself because it's never been taught accurately, and now through his shows we can go back in time and understand it better. It's truth through fiction, and we're here for it. Lastly, the settlers only ever dreamed of being free. The immigrants who had left their homes to search for a better place were only doing it so they could be free. That's what Sheridan has expressed through his prequel series. Historically, Europeans had struggled with owning land back home, and America provided them with the opportunity not only to own the land, but also to be free with it. Soon, many brave travelers took the risk of leaving their homes and settling in an unknown place. Even Helen Mirren had some thoughts to share. While she was filming 1923, she expressed how vast America is and how much history is in the lands that make up the country. So many people traveled and settled here with no idea of what the future may hold for them. The Sheridan verse has surely helped viewers understand the depth of American history and how it's evident through its immigrants and pioneers, industrialists and landowners at the time. It was indeed a fascinating and scary time to be alive. We hope to learn many more things in 1923, and we're also hooked on what stories Taylor Sheridan has in store for us. The incredible stories of the people that he's narrating through 1883 and 1923 is a great way of getting to know America's rich and diverse history. That's a wrap for this video. So are you excited about 1923's next episode? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.